Evening Riverside, and hello world. Welcome to the Daily Talk. Today we have a special guest with us today. Some of you may know of her. Let's give a round of applause to Frances Perkins. Welcome to the Daily Talk, Ms. Perkins. Thank you for being with us today. It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you also. Thank you for having me here.
To start off, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, where you're from, or anything you're comfortable letting the audience know?
Well, to start off, you should know I was born Franny Cola Perkins. I was born on April 10th of 1880 in Boston, Massachusetts. But my main roots were in Maine. The biggest thing I'm known for was rising to become America's leading advocate for industrial safety and workers' rights.
I see you're proud of where you come from. How are you so in tune with your patriot ancestry?
The reason I am so in tune is because I was raised with a deep appreciation about my patriot ancestry, which is why I understand that my New England heritage and my Yankee values were the core of it all. I was born with the belief that the environment I lived in held opportunities for all who have sought and were willing to work for them.
Do you mind telling us about your home life? What path did your parents intend you to follow after you finished your schooling?
Well, after graduating, my parents expect me to follow the path that many women of the era followed, which was either living at home, teach school, or wait for a suitable man to come along and marry. But I had different ideas.
What path did you take if you didn't want to go with norms at the time?
Well, I left home, changed my name to Frances, and I got a teaching job at Illinois. There are my free time and vacations. I worked at the Chicago Commons and Hull House, working with the poor and unemployed. There I found my life's callings.
You ended up in Philadelphia over the time, didn't you? What were your social work duties like?
I did. My social work duties included hanging out at the docks, rescuing newly arrived immigrant women before they could be lured into prostitution.
I see you have a strong belief about people's rights. Why is that?
Well, to me, the people are what matter to the government, and a government should aim to give all people under its jurisdiction the best possible life.
What would you say has made an impact in your life that you still remember it to this day, whether it be in your personal life or through your government career?
I really think that my life was changed when I attended college at Mount Holyoke. I had taken a course in political economy, and I had the chance of being sent to local mills to report on lives of the workers. I then realized that people could fall into poverty due to harsh circumstances.
What was it that made you thrive to go into a government office position?
It really hit me in the summer, following my 15th birthday. The Union General, Howard, had lost his right arm in the war. I enrolled myself as his secretary. Overall, I was just raised with a deep appreciation of history.
I was hoping we could move on to a more serious topic. You were present during the fire at the Triangle Shirtwaist Company, yes?
Yes, I was present. I was horrified, watching those workers jump to their death from the 10-story building. I later found out that many workers weren't able to escape down the stairways because they were locked in.
How was it that you were alerted about this scene?
Well, I was having tea at a friend's Greenwich Village townhouse when the butler mentioned a fire nearby. I followed the sirens to the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. By then, 146 people were killed, mostly immigrant women, garment workers.
Didn't this event lead you to work on the New York's Factory Commission?
Indeed, I did. I wanted to improve job safety to hopefully prevent incidents like this ever happening again.
What did you do to try to accomplish improvement in job safety?
Well, I testified in front of the state legislature. I had lawmakers visit factories and workers' homes to see their working and living conditions firsthand.
Your tactics were successful for making change in job safety, weren't they?
Yes, indeed they did. New laws and codes to protect workers compensate them from injuries incurred while on the job, and limited working hours for women and children were written throughout the course of 1911 and 1915 and result to what I did.
Later on, you got to work with the president at the time, which was President Roosevelt, yes?
Yes, I did. At the time, it was a hard decision to make with all that was going on in my personal life. I hesitated mainly because my husband, an economist, Paul Wilson, suffered from mental illness.
How did you feel when you were chosen personally by President Roosevelt to be his Secretary of Labor?
Well, first, I cautioned him saying, I don't want to say yes to you unless you know what I like to do and are willing to have me go ahead and try. I told him about my plans for reform, including minimum wage, maximum work hours, unemployment benefits, Social Security, and universal health care.
How did the president take your requests?
He told me he supported my ideas and that he was certain I was the person he wanted for the job.
When you accepted his offer, you became the first female cabinet member, correct?
Indeed, I did. I was proud to become the Secretary of Labor.
What was it that made you so sure of the invitation from FDR to join the cabinet?
Well, women who had lobbied for the appointment begged me to become the first female cabinet member, which persuaded me. But not only that, but with Roosevelt's promise, I had to accept his offer.
How was it working as Labor Secretary? Were there any challenges you faced?
I indeed faced challenges. When I worked as Labor Secretary, I faced harsh criticism because of my gender. At one point, some members of Congress initiated an effort to have me impeached, which later failed.
How was it that you managed to hold on to your job during your service with FDR?
I really think I was able to manage hanging on to my job because of the help of FDR, such as when the congressional conservatives judged me of being too soft on communists in the labor movement. Roosevelt stood by me when that occurred, and he had always supported my promise of social agenda.
For my last question, what do you say is your greatest achievement throughout your government career?
I believe that my greatest achievement was persuading Roosevelt to support large-scale public works because he was really skeptical about it. But several Congress senators and I convinced him on a necessary program that provided work for the jobless and stimulated the economy.
Sadly, this is all the time we have today. I'd like to thank you, Ms. Perkins, for joining us. I appreciate letting us discuss all the wonderful things you've done and experienced.
No, thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
And you, audience, don't forget to tune in next week with our new guest. Have a nice day, Riverside and the world. Bye.